sun always comes out after the storms. Taking just a minute to be and to settle into this yoga space on your mat and in whatever room you happen to be in whatever part of the world you happen to be in, bringing your mind, body, spirit all into the same place. And because this class is being taught live on Martin Luther King Day, I wanted to teach a class dedicated to some of the themes that come up on that day. And peace is one of the main themes that emerges on that day. So I was inspired to begin this class with something that I learned in kids yoga teacher training, which is one of my favorite ways and simplest ways to practice a mantra. And so you will use acupressure points on your fingers. Thumb and index finger come together, and that is peace. Thumb and middle finger come together, begins. Thumb and ring finger come together, with. And thumb and pinky come together, me. And so we'll do that a few times together. You can keep your hands open to the sky on your lap or just up in front of you. Reciting as your finger pads touch, using these beautiful acupressure points to send messages into your brain and shift your mindset. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. And once again, peace begins with me. And do that 2 more times on your own without speaking aloud, just touching the finger pads together gently, pressing those acupressure points together, and thinking about this concept of peace begins with you. And lower your hands down to your thighs if you haven't already. And you can flip them down, face down onto the thighs. Find your sit bones and connect them into the earth, finding your center. Tilt your pelvis forward and align your spine all the way up towards the sky. Considering once again this idea of peace. This day is about peace. And where does the peace begin? It does begin with you. Peace within and peace outside in community. And that's what yoga is all about. This day is also about gathered strength and resilience and hopefulness. And focusing on your next step. And so we find the peace within, and then we focus on our next step. And so I invite you to bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, checking in with yourself and considering, what does peace look and feel like within you? And what might your next step be towards hope, towards connection, towards peace, towards community? And realizing that often these journeys are long. And so we begin with the next step. We begin focusing within, finding peace, finding strength, and moving forward step by step by step. And a few other themes that this day inspires that tie directly into yoga and to coaching is this idea of ahimsa that I bring up often. Ahimsa is do no harm. Do no harm to yourself and do no harm to others. It's about nonviolence and it's about universal love and compassion. And so bringing about this idea of unconditional love and kindness To yourself first, just like peace, love, and kindness in universal care and doing no harm begin within. And the next invitation is to consider this idea of truth and living your truth and noticing fundamental needs that are not met. Starting once again within, considering if you have any fundamental needs that are not being met right now. Perhaps breathing deeply. And with that, we'll take a long, deep inhale through your nose and an exhale through your mouth. And another breath in of kindness, love, compassion, ahimsa, do no harm. Exhale, letting go of all those things that get in the way of those things. And pausing again to consider, are there any other needs of yours that are not being met? Perhaps simple care for yourself, perhaps enough rest, perhaps peace, allowing yourself to live into peace, not always striving and pushing, but embodying peace, kindness, calm. And the last inspiration from this day is the concept of love. And one of Martin Luther King's famous quotes is that, well, he has many about love, but darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. He also says, I have decided to stick with love. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. And lastly, I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word. And so as we move through this practice today, an invitation to bring in peace, love, truth, ahimsa for yourself, for everyone joining us here to practice live, for everyone in your family, for everyone in your community, and for everyone farther afield, everyone across this beautiful world, sending out peace, love, truth, and ahimsa. So bring your hands to heart center, rub them together, warming up your finger pads, creating some heat, warmth. Press those thumbs into your sternum, connecting into that inner intention, and set your intention around those themes. What can you do within in this next hour to help you move out into the world with intention towards your next step? Whatever that might be. And taking a moment here, a long, deep inhale through your nose and an exhale through your mouth. And enjoy a moment of peace within here on your mat before we move to our next step. And when you're ready, you can lower your hands and open your eyes. And take a moment to come back together, let the light in, no rush to move on to the next step. Allowing yourself a transition with loving kindness. Find your sit bones once again, realizing that finding peace within takes centeredness and groundedness and calm. Tilt your pelvic bowl forward, align your spine once again, all the way up with grace and elegance, all the way through the crown of your head. Take in a deep inhale and drop your shoulders with intention on the exhale. Scrunch those shoulders up to your ears, tilt your occiput back right into the cradle of the shoulders, compressing everything and enjoying the sensations. Drop your shoulders and release. Notice how good it feels. Lower your arms by your sides, reach them up towards the sky. Drop your right hand towards the floor, spread your fingers wide with kindness. All those fingers full of peace, plant them on the earth, roots grow downward, bend your right elbow, stretch your left side body all the way towards the right. Gracefully opening the ribs up to whatever is. Breathing in that truth, love, and peace into every tiny little intercostal space. Exhale, blowing out whatever needs to go, whatever's getting in the way of peace in this moment. Any resistance gets in the way of peace. Huge inhale. Exhale, gaze over the left shoulder. Let it out. Inhale once again. Exhale, blowing it out. Press into your right hand. Reach both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, drop your shoulders. Inhale, reach your shoulders tall, tall, tall. Lengthen both side bodies. Drop your left hand, spread those fingers wide, plant your roots, send them downward. Take good care of yourself along the way. Right hip grounds downward, right waist stretches, right arm stretches gracefully over the left ear. Bend your left elbow. Breathe into the right side body. Sending kindness, love, truth, peace, and ahimsa into every little nook and cranny of the lungs, feeding every alveoli with that intention. Exhale, let it out. Settling into this idea of peace, breathing in what thoughts that bring you more peace, and breathing out anything that gets in the way of peace. If you wish, gaze over the left shoulder for this last breath. Exhale, release. Bring both arms up towards the sky. Open your arms out towards the sides. We'll wrap them in front, giving ourselves a huge hug, sending ourselves peace and love. Lift your elbows up over your chest and lower them down with kindness. Squeeze, hug here. Exhale, drop your chin into your chest and roll forward. Enjoy the lengthening. Take a huge in-breath here of peace. And an exhale, let it out. Bring your chin back to shoulder height, chin to neutral. Untangle your arms, press them into the side walls. Squeeze your hands into fists. Open them with hope and stretch those fingers wide, bringing in the energy. Pinch your scapula together, release. Squeeze your fists tight, 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 tight. Arms fully engaged. Enjoy the energetic shifts. Fling the water out, letting go of any tightness or resistance. Squeezing your hands, fists tight, tight, tight. Noticing the warming with kindness. Spread your fingers wide, starburst fingers. Bring your hands back to neutral. Wrap your arms in the opposite direction, left under right, huge hug on this direction. Wiggle your fingers to the medial scapula. Lift your elbows up as high as needed. Drop them gently above the chest. Huge inhale of breath as you squeeze yourself tight, hugging, wishing yourself well, sending the peace within. Exhale, drop your chin to chest, release the spine, enjoy. Huge inhale and exhale. Taking a moment here to honor that peace within. How can you cultivate it? How can you grow it? What might you need more of? Squeezing tight, honoring who you are and what you need, honoring that truth. Bring your chin up to neutral once again. Untangle your arms, stretch them wide. Wrists are flexed. Spread your fingers as wide as you can, drawing the energy into the finger pads. Relax your fingers. Drop your fingers towards the floor. Reach them towards the sky. Gaze to the right gently. Be very kind to your neck. Gaze back to center. Gaze to the left and come back to center. Lower your arms down by your sides. Really let your fingers go. Wiggle them lightly. Roll your shoulders back with kindness. and roll them forward with kindness, softness, and joy. And 3 huge in-breaths, using the breath to bring peace. Huge in-breath through your nose and a huge exhale. Noticing the power of the breath to shift. One more inhale in through your nose. And an exhale, release. And once again, huge in-breath, as big as you can, letting the breath go all the way down into the belly. Long, smooth exhale, longer than the inhale if possible. Long exhales create physiologic shifts as well. And a pause to notice. And when you're ready, take out whatever you are sitting on underneath. And we're going to come directly to hands and knees today. Hands directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips. Knees are hips width. Taking a moment to set yourself up with kindness. Spread all 10 fingers wide as you can. Lower the palmar surface of the knuckles to the floor. No cups in the palms. Arms engaged, elbows engaged, humeral heads in the shoulder sockets. Back is flat. Belly and navel are engaged. Notice the tops of your feet on the floor. And taking a moment here to focus on your belly. Breathe right into the spot behind your navel. And a huge exhale. Balance a tray on your back for a moment. One more inhale. And exhale. Stretch your right leg long behind, toe on the floor. Ankle is flexed. Pause for a moment, inhale. And exhale. Raise your right leg up 6 inches in line with your hips, not above. Pause for a breath. Moving with intention. Next, inhale, raise your left arm, coming into a balanced pose, finding your center, finding the peace within here, the inner stillness, the inner steadiness. Huge inhale, reach left fingers long, right heel long. Exhale, bring your knee to elbow. Inhale, stretch long, long, long. Fingers reach in either direction. Focus on that center. Learn to balance your breath with ease. Bring your knee to chest, knee to elbow. Exhale long. Bring elbow to knee. Exhale, stretch long, 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 and balance here for 2 more breaths. Noticing the wiggles and the wobbles. Inviting peace. Love when you wiggle and wobble. 1 more breath. Lower that left hand down. Lower the right leg down. Come to even. For a moment, turn your fingertips to the outer edge of the mat. Rock side to side on your wrists, releasing a little bit in the wrists. Turn your finger pads towards your knees. You'll enjoy a lovely stretch in the front of the forearms and rock gently here. Enjoy that release. It's quite intense. Breathe into it. Focus on the peace within as you enjoy this energetic shift. Bring your hands to your fists, coming up onto your fists, and you can lower the back of the wrist towards the floor and enjoy that release. You may need to shift your weight backwards, getting off your wrists if you have tender wrists. Gentle release here. Coming back up to your fists. And notice if you prefer here to stay on your fists as we do the other side or on your palms. What works best for your wrists? Taking in an inhale. Extend your left leg long behind. Take a moment to set yourself up. Find your balance. Find your center. Peace takes connecting with your center. Inhale, raise your left foot to hip height. Leg is extended. Exhale, raise your right arm. Extend fingertips and heel in the opposite direction. Finding peace here within. Huge inhale right into your belly. Exhale, lengthen, lengthen. Next breath into your heart space, bathing it with love and kindness. Exhale, knee to elbow underneath. Inhale, stretch long, long, long. Heel in one direction, fingers in the other. Wiggle the fingers. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, stretch long, long, long. One more. Focusing on that peace, balance, and inner stillness, moving slow and with care. Lower your right hand and your left knee. Find your center here. Taking a moment. Find your belly. Take in a breath. Exhale. Inhale for cow pose. Stretch the front of your belly, sit bones reach towards the sky. Exhale, round your spine up towards the sky, coming into cat, bathing the spine. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Come back to center. Stretch your right leg long again. Drop your heel to the floor. Reach your right arm towards the sky, coming into a gate pose. Inhale, drink the breath down through your fingers right into the heart space. Exhale, reach your right arm over the right ear, extend long. If you wish, raise your right leg up to hip height, coming into a balance pose. We're going to do a little bit more balance here with the intent of finding that peace within as we wiggle and wobble and learning to use the breath to bring more ease. Reach your right fingers long, right heel long, working on the balance in whatever way works for you. Lower your right foot, bring your right arm up towards the sky. Drop your right arm into your left hip crease, roll your right shoulder back and gaze towards the sky. Open the chest and enjoy. Heart shining towards the sky, letting the light into that heart space, hope, love, peace, all those amazing feelings. Let them in with intention. Huge exhale as you reach your right arm back up towards the sky. Lower down to hands and knees. We'll switch to the other side. Find your center first. Even it out. Find your belly. Extend your left leg long. Drop your left heel towards the floor. Reach your right arm towards the sky. Come into gate pose. Drink a breath down in through those left fingers right into the heart space, the pocket behind the heart. Exhale, reach your left arm over your left ear. If you wish, raise your left foot up to hip height and balance. Embrace the wiggles and wobbles. Find peace within. Find your center here. 2 more breaths. Lower your left foot. Reach your left arm up towards the sky. Huge inhale. Exhale, drop your left hand into the right hip crease. Gaze up towards the sky. Roll the heart open. Heart shines towards the sky, letting the light, hope, peace, calm, all the things in. Notice what your work is and let that in. Not from a place of not enough or stuff to do, but from a place of love. Embracing it is what you'd like more of. Reach your right arm up towards the sky, lower down. Come back to hands and knees. Drop your hips backwards, come into child's pose, knees apart, toes together. Wiggle those hands as far forward as you need to. Stretch the shoulders. Consider flipping your palms open towards the sky in child's pose as you lower your forehead towards the floor. Hands open to receive all of the light. And pause here for a moment, finding that peace within. Sending love and kindness all around. Taking a moment to think about what your next step might be. What might help you embody more peace, love, truth, ahimsa?
We're all on different journeys to different places at different times. And just acknowledging where you are and what you need more of, what you want more of. When you're ready, coming back up to hands and knees, we'll walk our hands forward to handprint, curl our toes, and lift up to downward dog. Decide if you want your feet together today, wide apart. Notice what feels right to you. Maybe play with it. Walk the dog. Press one knee, one heel towards the floor, bend the opposite knee. Alternate for a moment. Enjoy the energetic shifts in the back of the leg. And come to stillness. Press into your hands, extend your arms, reach your sit bones high towards the sky, lower your head and neck towards the floor, and enjoy it. Walk your hands back towards your heels. Clasp your elbows. Release your head and neck. Knees are generously bent. Forward fold. And enjoy. If your knees are together, notice that your belly has to pay a little more attention. The balance is a little trickier. Raise all 10 toes, spread them wide, and lower them down. Shift forward slightly into your toes, gently into your heels, to the right, to the left. Find your center. Huge inhale of breath right into that squished up belly. Noticing that the breath helps no matter what position you're in. Exhale, release. Lower your hands, engage your belly, and roll up inch by inch by inch by inch. Your head will be the last to rise. Take a moment when you arrive to arrive. Let the blood flow shift with kindness. Do no harm. Don't get dizzy or tip over. Allowing yourself a moment to settle and center. Huge inhale once again. And exhale, allow your palms to fall towards the front, shoulders drop. Tadasana or mountain pose. Mountain pose is another very peaceful pose, but fully engaged. Take in a breath right into your heart space in mountain pose. Exhale, let it out. Start with your toes. Grow your toes into the earth. Draw the energy up through the balls of your feet, up towards your knees to your thighs. Tuck your pelvis, engage your belly, align your spine, reach all the way towards the crown of your head. Take in an inhale, heart light. Drop your shoulders, palms open towards the front once again. And embody for a moment that peace within. Perhaps even bring thumb to index finger, thumb to middle finger, thumb to ring finger, thumb to pinky finger, a couple of times, saying peace begins with me. So many of us are trained that peace begins by changing things outside of ourselves. What if your focus was peace within? Peace begins with you. Peace within is what allows you to contribute to peace beyond. Open your eyes if they're closed. Bring your arms out and up towards the sides. Reach them up towards the sky. Palms come together. Slight arch back. Fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Your spine is straight, rear end sticks out. Exhale, fold forward once again. Walk your hands forward to downward dog. And pause. Notice how you feel. Connect both palms into the earth, left ball of the foot into the earth. Inhale, raise your right leg towards the sky, coming into three-legged dog. Press your heel into the back wall. Taking a moment to find peace in this somewhat awkward position. Exhale, let it out. Inhale. Exhale, bring your right foot between your hands. We're going to come right up into warrior two.
We're going to practice all the warriors today. Warriors are peaceful, strong poses. Wiggle your right toes forward in warrior two, as far as you need to, perhaps a longer stance than usual. Gaze over your right middle finger, taking in a moment to focus on your center, growing tall all the way up through the crown of your head. Arms reach in either direction. Drishti or gaze intentionally over the right middle finger. Huge drink of breath into the heart space here. Exhale, sink down into warrior two a little deeper. Wrap your right butt cheek in towards you. Roll your left inner thigh towards the midline. Huge inhale, drink of breath through the crown of your head. Exhale, sink into this warrior two a tiny bit more. Inhale. Exhale, drop your left hand. Come into a reverse or peaceful warrior. Fan open the front rib cage. Use your belly to support your back. 2 breaths here in this peaceful warrior. A moment to honor peaceful strength. Use the breath. Using your resources, every alveoli, every nook and cranny of the lungs available to you. Coming back to warrior two. Huge breath in. Exhale, drop your right forearm to your right thigh. Reach your left arm over. Come into side angle pose. Stretch your left arm all the way towards the front of the mat. Left rib cage opens. Huge, beautiful lengthening from the outer edge of the left foot, through the left hip, through the left waist, shoulder, all the way through your left fingers. Huge inhale. Exhale, stretch the fingers even farther forward. Come back to warrior two. Reach both arms towards the sky. Turn your hips towards the front. Hop your back foot forward about 12 inches and point it towards the front right corner of the mat, coming into warrior one. Reach your fingers long towards the sky. Lengthen your waist. Wiggle those fingers lightly at the top. Not taking it all too seriously. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink into your hips. Your left heel reaches towards the floor. You should feel a nice calf stretch here. Ensure that those right toes are far enough forward that your right knee is not extending beyond your ankle. Huge inhale. Exhale, reach your arms out towards the sides. Reclasp them at your sacrum. Drop your shoulders down. Press your fist towards the floor, elbows straight. Heart is open. Huge drink of breath here into that heart space. You can gaze upward slightly if it feels good for your neck. Open the heart fully. Drinking in peace, love, kindness, stillness, light right into that heart space. You can envision it coming into the center and lighting up the heart, helping you find that peace within. Inhale once again. Exhale, we'll fold forward to the inner right knee, coming into humble warrior. If this doesn't work for you, just stay upright. Release your hands towards the front of the mat. The front of the shoulders will open. Noticing the shakes and the wobbles, embracing them. The journey to peace and love is not necessarily easeful. It's a journey. It takes a bit of strength building and a bit of finding your balance and readjusting, slight tweaks along the way, a little more of this, a little less of that. Breathing into this pose here, don't hold your breath. Bring your hands back to your sacrum, slowly rise upright. Reach those fists towards the floor. Huge drink of breath here. Exhale, let it out. Bring your hands, release them, bring them to heart center, palms together, thumbs come right to the sternum, finger pads reach towards the sky, elbows out wide. We're going to shift forward into warrior three. The next warrior. You're going to lift up onto the tiptoes of your back foot. Press the thumbs into your sternum to help you with balance and shift your weight forward onto that front foot. Lift your back leg up where it works for you. So some of you will just be on your tiptoes. Others of you will raise your left leg up to hip height, shift your torso forward, coming into yet another balanced pose. Use the breath, find the peace and stillness within here. Doesn't require a peaceful external to have a peaceful internal. Find your peace here in the midst of the wobbles, and notice that the peace comes when we relax in, not when we resist. Relaxing and softening is the key to finding the peace and the stillness. One more breath. Lower that back foot. Raise your arms up towards the sky once again, warrior one. Lower your hands towards the floor. Hop the back foot forward, another footprint. Come into a pyramid pose to release those hamstrings. Tack your right hip back, left hip forward. Both legs are straight. Both toes connect towards the front of the mat. Breathe in here. Exhale, let go. Once again, try to find the peace within here. Sending peace into every nook of tightness into the back of that right leg. Perhaps lift up your right toes, spread them wide, and lower them down. If it would feel good, shift your weight forward and shift your weight back into your heels. Pause for a moment. Inhale for a half lift, back is flat, crown of the head reaches towards the front. Exhale, fold forward, release. A moment here once again to connect with peace within. Step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Knees are bent. Bring your left palm towards the floor. Spread your fingers wide. Bend your left knee, straight your right, twist to the right, and roll out that right wrist in one direction and then the other. Taking time amidst all to be kind to yourself, to release. Enjoy that outer right hip. Switch hands. Right hand lowers to the floor. Spread your fingers wide, wide, wide. Bend your right knee, straight your left, gaze up towards the left hand, and release the left wrist. Caring for yourself allows you to bring in peace. When you show up with peace, all the energy around us changes. What if we each took responsibility for showing up peacefully? What might happen in this world? Bring your hands back to center. Engage your belly and roll up with intention, inch by inch by inch by inch by inch. Your head will last to rise. Let the blood flow shift. Move through you. Give yourself a moment. No rush. Reminding ourselves there's no rush to move from one pose to the other. Lifting up all 10 toes, spread your fingers wide, lower toes wide, lower them down, rooted them into the earth. Draw the energy up through your legs to your knees, to your pelvis. Tuck your pelvic bowl, engage that belly, align your spine. Noticing that when your spine is aligned, how much more easeful things are. Take in a drink of breath into the heart space. Keep the heart light. Exhale, drop your shoulders, palms open towards the front. Tadasana or mountain pose. Mountains are one of the most peaceful things in this world. Connecting with that idea. Mountains embody the peace begins with you and the peace within. Not a volcanic mountain, but a mountain. Reminding yourself of some of the most beautiful, peaceful mountains that you've seen. Taking a moment to connect with the energy that you have when you stare at the mountains. Huge inhale and exhale. Open your eyes if they're closed. We'll bring our arms out and up towards the sky. Once again, palms come together, slight arch back, fold forward, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Spine is straight, rear end sticks back, back is flat. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Pause for a moment, engage your belly, find your center. With intention, next step, shift your weight into your toes, lower down chaturanga, every inch intentional, all the way until you reach the floor, third eye on the earth. Untuck your toes, pause for a moment, weight is out of your hands. Inhale for low cobra, heart shines forward, heart opens. Exhale, lower down. Lower your forearms onto the earth. We're going to come up into Sphinx pose, another heart opener. Elbows are going to come directly under your shoulders, palms on the floor, forearms on the floor. Notice your fingers, spread them wide. Each finger pad connects to the earth. Each knuckle connects to earth. Palms connect to the earth. Lift up, heart shines forward. Taking a moment here, notice the front of your hips on the floor, the thighs on the floor, the tops of the feet on the floor. Drink a breath into your chest and heart space here. Once again, attending to this idea of peace and love, but also do no harm. No overarching, more is not better. Finding the stillness, even if there's shaking, breathing into it, learning to use the breath to find calm. Exhale, let it out. We will shift back from here into child's pose. Moving with kindness and love once again, release the back and ahimsa. Knees apart, toes together, reach your fingers long, 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 giving the back a stretch in the opposite direction. Third eye connects to the floor. And a moment to pause here once again. Connecting to stillness and to peace within. If you wish, you can do your finger peace begins with me once again here in child's pose. It's lovely. One more breath in child's pose. Slowly come out of child's pose. We'll press directly back up into downward dog. And take a moment here to arrive and be kind. Walk the dog if you need to. Perhaps press into your hands. Reach your sit bones towards the sky. Release your spine and enjoy. Huge inhale. And exhale, let it out. Find your hands. Connect them into the earth, all 10 fingers, knuckles. Find your right ball of your foot. Engage your belly. Raise your left leg towards the sky. Three-legged dog. Pause here in stillness. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your left foot between your hands. Rise up into warrior two. Cartwheel your arms out, long stance. Heels will be heel to heel alignment. Left toe jet lines towards the front. Back heels pigeon toed. Arms shoulder height in equal heights. Reach your fingers in opposite direction. Gaze or drishti over the left middle finger. Taking a moment here to stand tall in this warrior pose, drinking in the breath right into that heart space. Exhale, sink in. Send the breath into the belly, deep into the navel area. Exhale, sink in. And a moment to pause here. Find the peace within. When we embody peace, we show up differently in all of the spaces. This week's podcast was about words, and we were talking about the words that we use in medicine. I also think the energy we bring to things is important. What if we brought peaceful, calm energy to healing spaces? How might that be different than the energy we often see in an ER or in a hospital or in a clinic for that matter, even pediatric clinic, we're rushed and stressed. Choosing your energy well. Inhale, exhale, drop your right hand down your right thigh, come into peaceful warrior, fan open the left ribs, bathe the breath, bathe the lungs with breath, every little nook and cranny of that left rib cage. Exhale, sink in a little bit more. Wrap the left inner thigh towards the front. Engage, tuck your left glute in as well. Strong legs. Exhale, come back to warrior two. Pause, drishti over the left middle finger. Exhale, bend your left elbow, rest your left forearm on your left thigh, reach your right arm over, stretch long. Enjoy the whole right side body here. And don't judge your shapes. Let your shapes be whatever your shapes are. Lengthen from the outer edge of the right foot through the right arm. Enjoying the right waist, the right hip, everything that emerges here. Huge in-breath and out-breath. Rise back up to warrior two. Pause for a moment. Reach both arms up towards the sky. Turn your hips towards the front. Step your right foot out about a footprint. So there's a little bit of a wider stance. Hop your right foot forward a footprint. Coming into warrior one. Take a moment to adjust your warrior one in a way that works for you. Tack your left hip back, right hip forward. Hips are facing the front, arms reach towards the sky. Huge in-breath. Envision the breath coming in through your fingertips, down your arms, all the way down into the waist, down into both feet. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, arms come out. Reclasp them at your sacrum. Press your fists towards the floor. Elbows lengthen, shoulders down and back. Heart opens fully. Gaze up towards the sky if that would feel good. Opening your heart. Allowing that peace and love and calm in. We often have such a shell, such resistance, letting it in, knowing here in this moment, there's room and opportunity. Inhale. If you wish, on the next exhale, fold forward into humble warrior. Reach your arms towards the sky, hands reach towards the sky. Embrace the wiggles and the wobbles. Enjoy the release in the front of the shoulders. Notice it all. Taking a moment to scan. And notice your heart here hanging light. Letting it fill, sending it peace, love, kindness, ahimsa. Slowly rise up towards the sky. Torso reaches towards the sky. Press your fist towards the floor. Perhaps a quick gaze towards the sky. Enjoy the heart opener once again. Bring your chin back to neutral. Release your hands. Bring the hands to heart center. Palms connect. Thumbs come to the sternum. Come into warrior three. Lift up onto the tiptoes of your back foot. Shift your weight into your left front foot. Raise your right leg towards the sky. Tip forward. Use your palms and your thumbs to help you balance. Find a spot on the floor that's not moving in front. And embrace whatever the warrior three looks like on this side. Maybe different than the other side. Breathing into it, softening, relaxing into the tension. Inviting peace. Practicing the peace here in the tricky spot, the challenging spot. One more breath. Lower that back foot. Raise your arms up to warrior one. Lower them towards the floor. Hop the back foot forward, another footprint or two. Come into pyramid pose. Toes both jet line towards the front this time. Left hip tacks back, right hip forward. Send the breath into the back of the left leg. Bathing the tightness there with all the good.
Lift up all 5 toes on the front foot if that feels good. Lower them down. Shift your weight forward and back. Inhale for a half lift. Noticing the subtle shifts invite big changes. Exhale, fold forward, release your head and neck, and soften in. An invitation here to find peace within. Let it begin with you, even in the case of a tight hamstring. Practice. Huge in-breath and out-breath. Step your back foot forward to meet the front foot. Come into a forward fold. Engage your belly and roll up slowly, inch by inch by inch by inch. The transition as important as where you arrive, taking time and pause. Let your body adapt, adjust, and accommodate. Reconnecting with this idea of peace begins with you. We will slowly transition to lying down on your back. In whatever way feels good to you, you can arrive. Embody ahimsa as you move. Do no harm. There's no rush. Move with peace. When you arrive, take a moment, bend your knees and leave the soles of your feet on the earth. Palms face the floor. Draw your attention to your sacrum and let it release and relax. Pick your right ankle up, place it atop your left knee. Thread your hands between your legs and grab the back of your left thigh. Coming into figure 4. Press your right elbow into the right thigh and enjoy the release. Flex your ankles, toes reach towards the sky to protect your knees, ahimsa. Huge breaths into that outer right hip. Release your hands from the back of the left thigh, lower the left foot towards the floor. Reach your arms up above into an easy cactus shape, if that's kind to your shoulders. And allow your body to fall towards the left. The sole of your left foot will land on the floor. Outer edge of the left knee will land on the floor. You'll come into a figure 4 twist. Pause here and enjoy. Noticing your heart slow. Inviting the peace, inviting the relaxation. Notice if as you relax, your mind begins to wonder about all the things left in the day to do. And come back to this moment. Embody that peace here. And allow yourself to enjoy it. Gently bring your knees back to center. Untangle your feet. Lower your right leg to the floor. Even out your hips. And raise your left ankle. Place it atop the right knee. Thread your hands behind your right thigh. Hug them in towards you, coming into a figure 4 on this side. Ankles will be flexed. Left elbow presses into the left knee and enjoy. Embrace the tightness in the left hip. Send the breath there.
your thoughts back to this idea of peace begins with you. Release your hands from the back of the right thigh. Lower your right foot to the floor. Arms come back into an easy cactus shape or a T, depending on your shoulders. Huge inhale. Allow your knees to topple to the right. Left sole of the foot lands on the earth. Outer edge of the right knee comes towards the earth. Right sole of the foot gazes towards the left. Sending love to that left hip here, left waist. Bathe it with the breath. Last breath here. Bring your knees back to center. Untangle them. And take a moment here. You'll bring your hands back by your side, coming into either a bridge to under your back or bring your knees into your chest. Take a moment to figure out which one feels right to you and try it. If you're not sure, test it out. Learning to listen once again to yourself. We're taught not to listen. Listen to all the external inputs, but listen to yourself. Taking a moment to see which one feels better. What do you need? And when you're ready, we'll bring our feet back to the floor, soles of the feet together, knees apart, hand to heart, hand to belly, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. A moment to check in before we transition to Shavasana and integrate. Checking in with your heart space. Checking in with your solar plexus and your sacral plexus. Noticing how you feel and noticing whether there is more peace within. As this idea of peace begins with you, feel much more accessible now. What might it look like off the mat after class? How might you bring some of this peace with you? And you can stay here for Shavasana if it feels good. If you do stay here, please consider putting a block or pillows under your knees. If you wish to straighten your legs long in front, you can draw your knees together with your hands. Move kindly. Practice ahimsa. Extend your legs long, slowly. Allow your toes to fall towards the outer edges of the mat. Bring your hands to your sides, palms open. And taking a moment here to embody peace within. Letting peace begin with you here. We will enjoy together a few moments of peace. Let the earth hold you. Let your body breathe for itself. And relax and enjoy. If you wish to stay in Shavasana longer, please do. For those of you who wish to come out, gently begin to deepen your breath, little by little. Slowly, we will one finger and one toe at a time. I invite you to bring your thumb and index finger together. Peace, thumb and middle finger together begins with me. Reach your arms long above and your toes long in front, and take in a long, deep inhale if it would feel good. Stretch long in either direction. Exhale, release and let it out. Draw your knees into your chest and slowly roll over to one side. And notice the peace within. Notice perhaps more hope, more calm, more love. And taking a moment here to consider if there's anything going forward that needs to shift, to embody more truth, what you need, and ahimsa, do no harm to yourself. And that by attending to those things, it's part of our work to show up with peace within. When you're ready, press your hands into the earth and come up to a comfortable seat where we began. Reconnect your sit bones into the earth, tilt your pelvis forward, align your spine, rest your hands on your thighs, flip them open towards the sky, and bring your thumb and index finger together once again. And together, we'll bring our thumb and index finger together, peace, thumb and middle finger begins, thumb and ring finger with, thumb and pinky finger me. We'll do that 3 times. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. And once in silence. Take in an in-breath through your nose and an out-breath. Bring a hand to heart, another hand to top. Sending yourself peace, love, kindness. Bring your hands to heart center. Press your palms together. Thumbs come into your sternum. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. May you all enjoy much peace and love and embody ahimsa for you and others. Have a beautiful day.